Hello everyone, just got a check Ubisoft, or whatever it's called. And today, we are doing part 2 of Strixhaven review. This is right before they're about to do the update on Arena, and they're going to do all the thingies to put Strixhaven in Arena, so let's just jump right in. In the last video, we reviewed the mono white cards, and if you guys want to check that out, link in the description. And let's just jump right in. So, first card I see, Arcane Subtraction. 2 mana. Target creature gets -4/-, so instant learn. So, first thing I see is it's kinda slow at 2 mana. We got so many cards that kill or exile for 3 mana. Skyclave Apparition, Giant Killer. Why would we spend 2 mana to only prevent damage? And, like, I guess it works on an Embercleave creature, but honestly, I don't think it'll work as well as we want. Maybe in, like, an Ultimatum deck, if on, like, turn 3 or 4 you don't have your event, you can subtraction the big card and then you Shadow's Verdict. Seems okay, but I don't think it'll go in very many decks. Next we have Archmage Emeritus, or whatever his name is. 4 mana, 2/2, Human Wizard. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, draw a card. So first thing, this will probably go in someone's combo deck. You play like Bergie and a bunch of cantrips, and you just draw. But in standard, I don't think it'll be very effective. Maybe in our blue-white deck that I was talking about. But if you notice, most of our cards in this blue-white deck are like, I think our highest is like a 3-drop. And we have like 2 3-drops, and I don't think a 4-drop is going to be very synergistic. Because, remember, it's a 2/2, so we're always putting Stomp and Frostbite in the back of our mind. So, you play this on 4, you tap out, and they're like, ha, shock. And you're like, and then you cry yourself to sleep. I was like covering my face in tears. And then, maybe I'll see play, but it's probably just gonna get killed by Stomp or Shock, so it doesn't seem good. We have Burrog Befuddler. That's a weird name. 2 mana, 2/1 flash. Enters target creature gets -1/-0 until end. So maybe in like a mono blue tempo deck with like you play the Subtraction, the Burrog, and in like historic a bunch of tempo-y cards with like Brainstorm and Historic. You can play like a mono blue tempo deck with like counters and card draw and this card and this card. Kinda get it? Kinda seeing where I'm coming from? Okay, good. So maybe I'll go in that deck, but I don't see it. I don't see it. We have Berry. Why is this not yeah, Berry. This is Berry now. It's an A. Berry in books. 5 mana, put target creature into its owner library second from the top. 2 mana less if it's an attacking creature. So this is a 3 mana put it away card. There's so many things we can do with 3 mana. We have Skyclave Apparition, Giant Killer as already mentioned. You're just it just doesn't seem like it'll be worth it to have like a pseudo Path to Exile, and it's not even 1 mana. Path to Exile says exile target creature its control searches its library for a basic land. It's 1 mana, white. So why would we play this instead of any kill spell? Heartless Act, eliminate. Oh, they have a 1/1 counter. Screw that. Jeez Louise. So picky. Okay. Curate, 2 mana, instant. Look at top 2 card. Put any into the graveyard and the rest on top. Draw. So this is basically 2 mana, surveil 2, draw card. May see play in like a historic Is It deck where we have Is It Phoenix, Faithless Looting. This card basically is Thought Scour. Yeah. But just doesn't seem worth enough. In standard specifically, we're just talking about standard, it doesn't seem worth. Doesn't seem like it'll be very much. You're basically paying 2 mana to scry 2 and draw a card. In a way, you may as well go up to like turn 3, Behold the Multiverse, scry 2, draw 2. Or turn 4, do it. Rather than, maybe you'll see play, because you can put stuff into your graveyard, and you put it on top and that kind of stuff. But I'm not sure in what deck. Maybe in like the mono blue tempo deck over here. If we get some better draw or counter or tap down, yeah, maybe. And we got divide by 0. Don't do this at home, kids. 3 mana, instant, return target spell or permanent with mana value 1 or greater to its own. Oh, learn. Okay. So this card actually may be good versus freaking mono red. Because the way mono red works is they cast a bunch of itty bitty creatures, and then they work up to their 3 mana annex. And they're like, ha, gotcha with Ember Cleave. And you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna, basically this is Aether Gust, but worse. It's worse but better because it targets anything. And because it's a spell, you can target like Sultai Ultimatum and be like, yeah, no. And then you grab something from your sideboard because it's learned. If you guys don't know what learn is, it's you may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game, put it into your hand or discard draw. Dream Strix, 3 mana, 3/2, flying. When it becomes target of spell sacrifice. Oh, I just had the funniest idea ever. So this card may actually work well in our mono blue tempo deck. We play the Subtraction, we play the Barog the Fiddler, we play the Curate and the Divide by 0, and then we play this card. So we got our card draw, we got our counter, kind of, we got our like stuff to deal with creature decks as well as our flash, so we're not tapping out really ever. And then we have the Dream Strix, 3 mana, 3/2. You might be thinking, well, we got Stomp in the back burner. Well, you don't have to worry about Stomp with this one. Because it sacrifices itself. It removes the target. So, this deck may be good to board in with, like, in a mono blue tempo list that we're talking about. We play this game 2 because we know their only removal is Frostbite and Stomp. And that's it in the mono red deck. Maybe they have Smashing, but otherwise, this card actually may be pretty nice. And then when it dies, we can learn. So either way, if we pay 3, we're basically doing this, but we get a body if they don't kill it. I'd say that's pretty nice in a mono blue-esque deck. Then we have Frost Trickster. 3 mana, flying, 2/2. Tap target creature, it doesn't untap during its controller's next. If it had flash, I may have considered it. Maybe in the mono blue deck where we have counters, we can like play this on 4 or 5, holding up like a 1 mana counter or 2 mana counter. But otherwise, I don't. It doesn't seem worth compared to the owl thing. It looks like an owl, guy. Why would they call it a bird? It's an owl illusion. Jeez Louise. Maybe, but I'm not sure. And we have X, X, 2 colorless and a blue. You may pay 3 mana instead of playing, so you can just ignore the X and just pay 3. If the 3 mana was paid, you draw 3, and then an opponent creates 2 treasure tokens, and they scry 2. So you're already giving your opponent tons of rampant value, or play X, 2 blue, 2 white, and blue, and get, if X wasn't played, draw X cards. Okay. So this X. So this may go in our mono blue tempo deck again. We're taking the Dream Strix, the Mastery, and then what we can do is we keep gaining value, and then they're like, oh, you're out of gas, and we cast this, drawing a ton of cards, gassing up our hand, and then we can sort of go into our win. Then we have Kelpie Guide. 3 mana, 2/2, untap another target permanent you control. Tap target permanent, activate this only if you have 8 or more lands. Maybe this is just gonna go in some weird ass infinite combo deck, but otherwise, not really. I don't think this will gain much value. I don't think it'll be very good in my opinion, just cause it's 3 mana, 2/2. The difference between some of these other cards is we can flash them in, or we just don't care if they kill our star people. We just don't care if they kill our symbology, because we're playing the aggro tempo list. We don't care if you stomp. We're trying to outvalue you. This card may go in like a combo list where you tap, untap, tap, untap, tap, untap, and you get in some loop. But otherwise, I'm kind of unsure where this would go. And we have Mentor's Guidance, 3 mana. When you cast or copy it, if you control a Planeswalker, Cleric, Druid, Shaman, Warlock, or Wizard, copy this spell. And then the spell is scry 1 and then draw. So this is basically... see, I would say this is kind of a better... whatchamacallit? What's the word? Behold the Multiverse. Scry 2, draw a card. Foretell for 2, and then you cast for 2. But I'd be wrong. Unless, well, actually, this may be good. So, on turn 2, we flash in our Befuddler. And then turn 3, we cast this, and we scry 1, draw. Scry 1, draw. Would I play this over Behold? No, because the scry 2 is very different. When you scry 2, you can see 2 cards instead of seeing 1, then you draw, and 1, then you draw. It's different because you can throw 2. Let's say your first card is Genesis Ultimatum. You want to bottom that because you don't have enough mana. And then you draw Nuke, and you're like, well, crap. With the scry 2, you draw 2. You just bottom both at the same time, not having to worry about drawing something bad. So, maybe this is good. Maybe it'll go in the mono blue tempo deck, but not that I think. I don't think it'll go very. Then we got our first lesson. Let's go. Mercurial. What the heck is this name? Okay. Mercurial Transformation. 2 mana. Till end of turn. That kind of sucks. Target non-land permanent loses all ability and becomes your choice of a base power and toughness, blue 1/1 frog, or 4/4 Arctis. So I see what they're trying to do here. There's this card, I forgot what it's called. Startling Development. I think it's called that. It's 2 mana, target creature becomes a 4/4 serpent with base tower. Becomes a blue serpent, base tower, power and toughness 4/4. So maybe they're trying to do that through a lesson. Like, let's say our Strix dies, we grab this thing, and then we can hold off their annex by making it a 1/1, but may see play, but we need better lessons if we want the mono blue tempo deck to work. Next we have multiple choice. X blue. If X is 1, scry 1, then draw. If X is 2, you may choose a player. They return a creature they control to its owner hand. If X is 3, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. And X is 4 or more, do all of the above. So here's the thing. Our 5-drop is just gonna be this, right? Create a 4/4 bounce. They bounce a creature, but this may go in a combo deck. You pay 3, return your creature back to hand. It enters, and then you can retrigger all your abilities. I'm not sure, but it seems okay. Yeah, we got Pop Quiz. 3 mana, draw a card, learn. So this card maybe goes instead of our mastery, but otherwise, yeah, seems okay. 3 mana, draw a card, learn. So why would we do that instead of this? Where on 3 we can cast this, scry 1, draw, or we draw and learn. I haven't seen very many good lessons. I'm looking. There's this one. If an opponent has more cards in hand than you, draw 2, draw 3 instead. If an opponent has at least 4 more cards than you. But there don't seem to be any good lessons in blue so far. So maybe we just cut all the cards that say learn. We put in a couple good lessons like this one, or some colorless ones that I haven't seen, but yeah. I don't think this is going to be worth compared to even like a scry 1 draw card for 3 mana. Then we have reject. Counter target spell unless controller plays 3. If that spell is countered, exile instead. This card is going to be so nice in our mono blue deck. We have reject, counter, multiple choice. Then we have our transformation, maybe a guide, or dream strix in the sideboard. Curate to draw cards and gain value. Divide by 0 to bounce to hand. The Fuddler, maybe Brazen Borrower. The subtraction. Maybe this or this. We're starting to get like sort of the idea of what we want here. Then we have 2 mana instant. Exile target artifact or creature. Control plays a 4/4 blue-red elemental token. Oh god. So we can always target our own things with this and get like a 2 mana 4/4. But really, I don't think that'll be worth it value-wise. Maybe it'll be good, but I feel like this card compared to some other cards that I know about that we're going to talk about later isn't going to be very good. And they get a 4/4 in our tempo deck. Maybe we just bounce it, but it doesn't seem as good. We got Serpentine Curve, or Serpentine Curve, whatever. Speaking English. 4 mana. Create a 0/0 green blue fractal creature token. Put X/1/1 counters on it, where X is 1 plus the total number of instant sorceries you own. And in oh my god, this deck is gonna be so fun. Oh yes. So we play reject, multiple choice, counter spells like Saw It Coming, maybe the Transformation, Ingenious Mastery, the Strix, Curate, Divide, and we get all these instants and sorceries in our graveyard. Then we're like, ha, win con, 10/10 0/0 snake. Have fun. Have fun dealing with that. And we got Snow Day. 6 mana. That's already nothing. Tapped up to 2 target creatures. So don't tap during the next. Tap to draw 2, discard. So, no. Just, why would we do this? No. If we're gonna shoot for 6 mana. Wait, who can say it? Okay. If we're gonna shoot for 6, we may as well hard cast Shark Typhoon rather than casting this. Even though usually hard casting Shark Typhoon is a punt, I think with this card, it'd be more worth to hardcast Shark Typhoon than do this. Tapping down their stuff may be good, but it's only gonna work for what, 2 turns? And the draw 2 discard just doesn't seem worth for a 6 mana spell that we already seen. Can just get bounced back by hand by Divide by 0 and countered by Reject. Doesn't seem worth it. So next we have Solve the Equation. 3 mana, sorcery, search your library for an answer, sorcery, put into your hand, then shuffle. Okay, so I'm thinking, guys, we use this. Our Serpentine Curve, which is our main win con, as well as Shark Typhoon, Reject, multiple choice, etc., etc. You guys already know the gist. This is our like fetch. We search for our curve, our Serpentine Curve, and then we cast it, getting a really big creature, really big boy, and then we protect it with our counter spells, and then we swing in for like 20 damage. Soothsayer Depth, 2 mana, 1/3. Merfolk Wizard, 2 mana, tap, draw, discard. Doesn't seem good, and it doesn't seem like it'll work very well, especially in the mono blue deck. Maybe in a different list where like you draw a discard to gain value, like the draw 2 deck from Eldraine with Improbable Alliance, which says when you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue fairy. It's a red-blue artifact, 6 mana, draw, discard. Maybe we put that in like an Is It Draw 2 deck with like stuff like that, where it says whenever you draw a card you gain value, but otherwise not really. Okay, just talking really fast. Symmetry Sage, 1 mana, 0/2, flying, Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, target creature you control with base power 2 has base power 2 until end of turn. Okay. Maybe this will be good, but first thing is, unlike the Lumimancer, even though it's an 0/1, it gets buffed the second you cast it. This one, however, doesn't seem to work as well for that, and honestly, I don't think it's value. Maybe it's good, but I don't think so. Then we have our lesson that I already talked about. In this deck, we could play like 4 of these in the sideboard and call it a day. Because this card is pretty good just in general to gain value. Maybe it's not worth, but I think it's good for now. Then we have Tempted by the Auric. Oh yeah, guys with mask. 4 mana. For each opponent, gain control of up to 1 target creature or planeswalker that player controls with mana value 3 or less. If it just said gain control, it'd be so busted, because you could gain control like an Ugin. But there's not very much I'd want to gain control of for 3 mana. Maybe on turn 4 you grab their Annex, which is an Embercleave on it, and just slap them with their own stuff. But otherwise, I don't think so. This card may see play, but it's not going to see play, I don't think. Then we have Test of Talents, 2 mana, counter target insert sorcery. Search its controller, graveyard, and hand for any number of these cards with the same name. Exile them, the player draws a card for each card. Exile, yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, please. I love this card. So, you know that deck? You cast Big Ultimatum. It's called Emergent Ultimatum. 2 blue, 2 black, triple green, 7 mana. Get 3 monocolored cards. I talked about in my last video. Link in the description. Basically, this hard counters any deck that's like based around like an ultimatum. You just exile it and they kinda lose their whole game plan. So yeah, I think this may be a sideboard card. Not in best of 1, because this is too like it's very what's the word? Narrow. In best of 3, you can play narrow cards in your sideboard because you can switch them out for cards that aren't very good versus your opponent's deck, but are good versus other decks. In best of 3, you can play a lot more narrow cards, because you're trying to hit certain decks. Like, if you want to be an aura deck, you can play a lot of creature hate and take out your board wipes, because those aren't gonna help, except for like exile effects like Shadow's Verdict and Extinction of that, and Historic, of course. Sometimes this is like kind of a sideboard card. You board it in versus a big ultimatum deck or a big spell deck. Oh my god, we're on the last 3 cards already. Fast this is. Oh, we have Vortex Run, 3 mana. As long as you control 8 or more lands, it gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked. So I think this may go in our mono blue deck, where we have this, and then we gain a ton of value, because we're just slapping our opponent with this card. You know, you guys kind of get it. Slap our opponent around with this card, can't block it, and because we're going so late, we have our Serpentine Curve, and our Solve the Equation, as well as our multiple choice to draw a bunch of cards, etc., etc., Mastery, etc., we draw cards, gain value, etc., etc., blah, blah, blah. You guys know. Waterfall Aerialist. So this card maybe, but it's going to be hard to tell. It's a good blocker, though. Waterfall Aerialist. 4 mana. Flying. Ward 2. Whenever it comes to targeted spell or ability, counter it unless his control pays 2. It's a 3/1. So, maybe in our mono blue deck, or maybe in just a deck, maybe in like blue-white or something crazy weird, like flying, mono blue flyers or something, but I don't see it working. Especially with the ward, especially with the fact that it's 4 mana 3/1, compared to the Vortex Runner, which is the 3 mana 3/3 sometimes, and it can't be blocked. Like, maybe this will see play in like a ward deck or a counter deck, like our mono blue tempo deck, but not that I can think of. Then we have Wormhole Serpente. 5 mana. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. 3/5. So maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Kinda unsure. This card seems okay, but it doesn't seem like it'll gain much value. First of all, it's a 5-drop, and most of the time by turn 5 your opponent's already killed you, just in this format, just because they cast their ultimatum on turn 5 because they ramped, etc., etc. Various reasons. Mono white kills you fast, mono red kills you. It being a 3/5 doesn't help its case with Lovestruck Beast, which is a 3 mana 5/5. So maybe after Lovestruck Beast rotates, this will be better, but it just seems way too slow. That's gonna be it for the mono blue deck, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my take on what I think will be powerful in the meta. And I just got to save image real quick. Mastery. That will be all for today's video. Or just this video. I'm going to be doing the black cards next. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!